Well, hi there, and welcome to PJs with PJ, Pajama Talks with Pastor Jeannie. I am Pastor Jeannie Sortland, and I serve the United Methodist Congregations of Kensel and Wimbledon, North Dakota. And so I welcome you here today for the Memorial Day edition of PJs. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about that we are making plans to open, and we are looking at June 7th as the day that we will get to resume meeting in our churches together. And so I am very much looking forward to that. Yesterday, the leadership team of Wimbledon and I met and talked about best practices and procedures. And the thing that we kept foremost in our mind was the Wesleyan tenet of do no harm. Because, our three rules are do no harm, do good, and stay in love with God. And so we were focused on making sure that we would do no harm. And so, some of you will have different opinions about that, but as we present how we plan to go about gathering in person again, we ask that you would respect these decisions. And even if you have opinions, would you please gently discuss them? Because unfortunately, the rhetoric on social media has gotten a little bit harsh. And sometimes that's doing harm, even though the person that is commenting maybe doesn't intend to do harm. So anyway, but that's enough about that. I will keep you posted as we progress on those things, and I'm very much looking forward to that time. So today we're going to talk about Memorial Day, which was originally called Decoration Day, because fellow soldiers would decorate the graves of their fallen comrades. And then over the years, it evolved into a time where most people honor not only the military members of their family, the veterans, or those that were lost in military causes, but also their family members. But we still take some intentional time to think about the sacrifices that those soldiers made on behalf of our freedom. And did you know that it is actually national law that we observe a time of remembrance on Memorial Day? This was new to me when I was doing a little research on Memorial Day, but in 2000, Congress instituted a law that at 3 p.m. local time, everyone should pause for a moment of remembrance. And so maybe you didn't do that today. And so take time later, because I think it is never too late to pause in remembrance of those that sacrificed. And I also learned that 9 states also celebrate a Confederate Memorial Day. And as you could expect, it's southern states, Texas, both North and South Carolina, Alabama, Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia, because a lot of their loved ones were lost during the Civil War. And Virginia actually has theirs coincide with Memorial Day, but the rest use a separate day from Memorial Day to honor their Confederate soldiers. And Memorial Day used to always be May 30th until the Uniform Monday Holiday Act of 1971. And the reason this Uniform Monday Holiday Act came into being is because then it would ensure a long weekend for every Memorial Day. But there are some groups that are working to change that back, like the American Legion, because they think that having a unique day set apart would be more significant and honoring to those that have died in service to our country. So I found all of these things very interesting. And And we know that we're living in unusual times, and a lot of our Memorial Day remembrance services were not held this year because of our social distancing policies. But even though we are distanced, we can still remember the people that worked to give us our freedom. And I think as a church, I think one of the things that we can do to honor our veterans, our military, is to learn about issues that affect them. There are a number of health concerns that seem to be pretty specific to veterans. There are those struggling with Agent Orange. PTSD is very, very common in veterans. Post-traumatic stress disorder, which, if you talk to a veteran that has issues with PTSD, it is difficult. And so learning about things like that, and maybe learning about veterans' causes, is a good way for us as a church to use our commitment to justice, to honor veterans, to honor those that have died in service for us. So anyway, I thank you for joining me. I hope you did enjoy some nice time this weekend, but also that you would pause and reflect why this is a national holiday. So have a good night, and it looks like it's pretty much back to work tomorrow after the long weekend. Bye-bye.